welcome back to my channel. So one video that I did back last year was a Sailor Moon video, and that video had a lot of views. It had like 72 views, and I think it still has 72 views. I haven't checked, but I think it has 72 views. And I was like, you know what? This video was so successful. Might as well do another Sailor Moon video. And I was like, you know what? Let's go full force. Let's do another one. So here we go. We're going to do another Sailor Moon screencap study video. For those of you guys who don't know, Sailor Moon is actually one of my favorite animes, and it's the only anime that I like. I'm not really like a full-on manga kind of person, but I do like Sailor Moon, so yeah. What do you guys say? And let's get started with this. Let's go into the wonderful, awesome world of Sailor Moon. Let's do this. Let's go. Okie dokie. So for those of you guys who have already seen my screen cap study videos, you guys already know the drill. But for all the newbies, here we go. Let's just get into it. So as I draw the scene for you guys, I'll guide you through my process, sharing tips, techniques, tricks, hacks, you name it. I'll give it all. So as you guys can see, the background is already blue, and that's because I've already colored the background before filming the video in order to prevent the video from being super long for you guys. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to avoid. So I colored the background with a blue Copic marker, and then from there you guys are already seeing the coloring process. For the sketching part of it, I used my 0.5 mechanical pencil, and to do the black line art, I used my black fine tip point Sharpies and my micron fine liners. I didn't film that for you guys to avoid the process being super long. I didn't want to bore you guys, and this process requires concentration, so that's why I didn't, shout out to you guys. And you'll also notice that for this drawing, I didn't use painter's tape, and that's because the sketchbook that I'm using now, it's a new sketchbook, and it's pretty big. It's from Faber-Castell, and it is the Faber-Castell Mixed Media sketchbook. So yeah, that's why I didn't use painter's tape, and it was also pretty big, so yeah, it worked. It definitely helped. So yeah. And then as far as the coloring materials that I used watercolors, Copic, of course, for the background, and gouache. So I recently upgraded my gouache technique, and a lot of people know that once gouache dries out, it doesn't like feel the same. You have to re-wet it constantly. But one thing that I've heard when using gouache is that like sometimes a little bit of fungi will like crawl in there and like make your gouache like not workable. So I went on Amazon and I bought a spray to prevent my gouache from getting fungi, and it's the same brand as my gouache. It's from Himi, and it's the It's Spray Gouache, and I love it because like this spray, it preserves the moisture of the gouache. It like makes the gouache feel like it's brand new every single time you spray your gouache with the spray. It reactivates the dried gouache, and it also minimizes bacterial growth. So yeah, that's one thing. I wanted to prevent bacteria from getting into my gouache, so I was like, you know what? Better safe than sorry. Let's just get the spray. And I ended up getting the spray on Amazon, and it's a game changer, honestly. In terms of my watercolors, I just used my Kuretake Zig Gansai Tambi watercolors, as well as my Koi watercolors. So yeah, a lot of mixed media went into this. Mixed media using, of course, the usage of marker for the background, gouache, and watercolor, which surprisingly enough was not a lot of colors, and I was really happy with the result. So as you guys see me do the coloring process in real time, I'm going to be jumping back and forth between the drawing and some Sailor Moon fun facts. I have done a Sailor Moon video back in last year. I can't remember the month. I think it was October, right around there. But yeah, I have mentioned this summary before, so here we go. For those of you who don't know what Sailor Moon is a timeless and iconic magical girl anime that burst onto Japanese television screens in 1992, created by Naoko Takeuchi. I think is how you say his last name, Takeuchi. And this beloved series follows a 14-year-old Usagi Tsukino, an awkward and carefree schoolgirl, as she transforms into the powerful Sailor Moon. Joined by her loyal friends and fellow Sailor Guardians, Ami, Rei, Makoto, and Minako Usagi battles evil forces threatening the Earth and the Moon. In terms of the character summary of Sailor Moon herself, she is the titular hero, Usagi Tsukino's alter ego. This cheerful and compassionate sailor-suited warrior fights for justice and peace with her iconic Udango hairstyle and endearing cry of, "In the name of the moon!" Sailor Moon embodies innocence, kindness, and determination as the series unfolds. She grows from a clumsy teenager into a confident guardian, harnessing her powers to protect loved ones and the world. The Sailor Guardians are essential characters in the Sailor Moon series, which are Sailor Moon, of course. She's the leader. She represents love and justice. Sailor Mercury, Ami Misono alter ego. Ami Misono's alter ego, intelligent and resourceful. She represents knowledge. Rei Ino's alter ego, Sailor Mars, who is spiritual and passionate. She represents passion. Makoto Kino's alter ego is Sailor Jupiter. She's strong and nurturing and represents strength. And Sailor Venus, which is Minako Aino's alter ego, and she is cheerful and charming, and she represents love. The outer Sailor Guardians, Sailor Uranus, Haruka Tennou, brave and independent, she represents wind. Sailor Neptune, Michiru Kaido, she's elegant and intuitive, she represents ocean. Sailor Saturn, Hataru Tomoe's alter ego, who is gentle and powerful and represents time. Now, to jump back into the drawing really quickly, for the brushes, I used my Himi round brush, and that was the main brush that I used. And you guys will also notice that there's some spots that are actually covered by masking fluid, and you will see how I remove that in a little bit. But jumping back into the fun facts, other Sailor Guardians, Sailor Pluto, guardian of time and space, Sailor Chibi Moon, Sailor Moon's future daughter, and Sailor Saturn's predecessor, Sailor Kronos, who is unofficial. These Sailor Guardians unite to protect Earth and the universe. So, yeah, Sailor Moon is pretty cool. She's amazing. And there's actually been a lot of series who have been inspired by Sailor Moon. For example, Star versus the Forces of Evil. And I've seen a couple of episodes of that show, but I haven't seen that show entirely. So, yeah, that's just one of them. And jumping back into the drawing a little bit, I mainly used this Himi brush and a couple of my aqua brushes to color in this drawing, just because, you know, I was working with wet mediums for the most part. But, yeah, I mean, that was pretty much all I used for in terms of applying the wet mediums, such as gouache and my watercolors. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I used. And I'm not gonna lie, you guys, doing this drawing in just like full-on gouache and watercolor with a small but really big amount of marker was honestly the best decision I ever made. The last Sailor Moon drawing that I did, I think I used a little bit of watercolor and a little bit of marker, so it was like 50-50, but this one was like 90% watercolor and gouache and like 10% Copic marker. So, yeah, that was pretty much all I used. Now jumping back into the fun facts, the main villains of Sailor Moon, Queen Beryl, the main antagonist of the Dark Kingdom arc, seeking the power of the legendary Silver Crystal, Queen Metalia, an ancient evil entity and the true source of power for Queen Beryl in the Dark Kingdom arc, Jadeite, one of Queen Beryl's 4 generals, Nephrite, one of Queen Beryl's generals, Zoisite, Queen Beryl's 3rd general, and Kunzite, Queen Beryl's 4th and most powerful general. And I want to apologize first and foremost if I'm saying some of these names wrong. I'm pretty sure I am. Please don't come after me, but I'm trying my best over here. These names are Japanese names, and they are pretty difficult to pronounce if you ask me. In the Black Moon arc, there's Prince Demand, the prince of the Black Moon clan, Esmeralda, a member of the Black Moon clan, Sapphire, Prince Demand's brother, Pets, a member of the Black Moon clan, Berthier, a member of the Black Moon clan, Calaveras, a member of the Black Moon clan, and Koan, another member of the Black Moon clan. So that's a lot of people in the Black Moon Clan, for example, if you guys ask me. In the Infinity arc, Pharaoh 90, the main antagonist, Mistress 9, host body for Pharaoh 90, Hotaru Tomoe, initially an antagonist, but later becomes Sailor Saturn, who I mentioned earlier. In the Dream arc, Queen Nehelenia, the main antagonist, Zirconia, Queen Nehelenia's advisor. Stars arc, Sailor Galaxia, the main antagonist, Chaos, the true enemy. And then other notable villains, which are the Wise Man, the Death Phantom, and Ancient Evil, and Sailor Moon's Dark Side, Super Sailor Moon's Dark Transformation. So that's a lot of villains. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I love Sailor Moon's outfit. I love it. It's full on sailor, which, as of course it says so in the name. Now, I'm jumping back into the drawing. I'm using here my aqua brush to color in the rest of Sailor Moon's outfit. Her color scheme that I've mostly noticed are like the primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue. And it was nice. It was nice not having to mix any colors over here, which is always nice. It's a time saver for me. And, of course, the difference between this Sailor Moon scene and the first Sailor Moon video that I did was that this one actually involves Sailor Moon's cat, Luna. And Luna is honestly the best cat in the world. My tia actually has a cat, a black cat, and she named it Luna. So I can relate to this aspect of life, you could say. But, yeah, I love me a cat. I'm a dog and cat person, so yeah. And I love this scene because Sailor Moon is actually hugging Luna, and there's like a couple stars next to her. So yeah, I mean, this scene is amazing. It's beautiful, and I absolutely love how it came out. I mean, you guys, I'm actually looking at the final result right now as I'm recording this voiceover, and I am super, super happy with how it came out. And I'm also super happy that we have another sketch, that we are using a new sketchbook here on YouTube. Yay! So if you guys have seen my last video, which was my Spirited Away video, I mentioned that in the sketchbook where I did that screen cap, it had like 3 pages in it, and I've already used those 3 pages. I've already drawn on them, and now we're moving on to a new sketchbook, and I decided to use the Faber-Castell because I thought, you know what, we could make some bigger screen caps here on YouTube. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with the Faber-Castell. Like, no biggie. It's like mixed media. It's gonna help. It's gonna work. It's fine. So yeah, I ended up using this sketchbook in the end, and best decision I've ever made, you guys. Like, best decision I've ever made. You guys also noticed a little bit while I was mentioning the fun facts that I moved my koi watercolor box to the left, and it was because I needed to see the swatches before going in with some of the colors, because I just wanted to make sure that I was using the right color. So that's why I moved the box to the left. If you guys saw that bit, I'm so sorry. But yeah, I needed to see the swatch. For her eyes, for Sailor Moon's eyes, I used a really thin aqua brush from Sakura, and it came with the koi watercolor set that I bought on Amazon. So yeah, that was very beneficial, and it was super thin, and it was a little bit thin on the end, so I could really go in there and just like color in the small little bits and pieces of the eye. So yeah, that was really helpful. It was nice. And I also noticed another thing in Sailor Moon's outfit, that there's a lot of predominant, like the color white really pops out a lot, and I love it. I love that it's white on some pieces of her costume, because then you get to see the other parts of her outfit stand out, like the bow and the skirt, like all of it, For the gold on Sailor Moon's crown, I know you guys are seeing me color in Luna's eyes right now, but for the gold on her crown, I just used my gold watercolor that I had from my Kuretake palette. So yeah, I went in with that, and now I'm finally coloring Luna. Now I know a lot of people are like, well, Luna's this like purple, like purplish black, but I wanted to go in with all the black because like wanted to avoid the hassle of having to mix colors and then just getting the original color palette just like dirty. So I wanted to avoid that. For the inner part of Luna's ear, I just used this pink watercolor from my Koi palette, and it was the perfect like pink for Luna. So yeah. And then as you guys can see, there's the masking on Sailor Moon's like the white part of the red thingy in her hair. I don't know what it's called, but it's right there. You guys can see that. I used masking fluid for like the small pieces that I didn't want to be painted. And masking fluid, you guys, it's a game changer. If you guys haven't tried masking fluid, you definitely need to try it. Basically, the masking fluid that I got, it's from Fine Line, and I got this at Blick Art for I can't even remember the amount, but it was pretty cheap. Like I didn't spend a lot of money on it, but yeah, it was pretty affordable. And I actually got two. Well, the set that I bought came with two masking fluids and then a refill bottle for both. One is super fine, and then the other one is just like a fine tip. So yeah, it's really cool. And then like the bottles, like the caps of the bottles come with a needle, which is absolutely perfect, and it prevents it from clogging. And I love that you can like use this masking fluid like straight from the bottle, because like that way you avoid having to like ruin your paintbrushes just like using masking fluid. So yeah, I recommend Fine Line masking fluid pen, and you can buy this at Blick Art. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice when you can find like stuff to like up your art game. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so finally I colored in Sailor Moon's crown with the gold like I just mentioned, and I think now I am going in with Luna's fur, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm going in with Luna's fur. So for the black, I just used my Kurtake Gansai Tambi black watercolor, and I used an aqua brush to apply it. So yeah, I just really like laid it all in on the black. Okay, I know that using black watercolor on any drawing is like risque, but if you take the risk, it's worth it, and that's definitely what I did. For Luna's nose and her moon, I just used gouache, but yeah, for her fur and everything like that, like her ears and her eyes, I just used watercolor. So yeah, no biggie right there. And yeah, that was pretty much all I did for Luna. Nothing too crazy, just really nice and simple. I like to keep it simple over here with you guys here on YouTube, just because, you know I say I wanted to go all out, but really less is more here with me. So yeah. The reason why I wanted to do another Sailor Moon video for you guys was because I noticed that the first time that I did something Sailor Moon related here on YouTube, it had a lot of attention. It got like 72 views, if I'm not mistaken. And I was really, really happy that was like my top video from you guys. Like that video has gotten like so many views. And also, you guys, speaking of YouTube, I am so happy to announce that we have reached 20 subscribers. That's right, you guys, we have just reached 20. Oh my god, I cannot even believe it. Oh my gosh. And that's all thanks to you guys. We are finally 20 subscribers. I am so happy. Oh man. I know I said I was going to do something when I hit the double digits. When I hit 10 subscribers, I know I said I was going to do something, but I ended up not doing it. And I was like, I need to do something for 20 subscribers. I need to go big because, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to do for 20 subscribers. However, I do have a massive project coming up, and you guys will find out more about it later on. I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell you what. I'm not going to tell you when. Let's just say that this project is pretty big. So, you guys are going to find out what it is later on, but that's all I'm saying. I'm just leaving it all out on the floor. you're not getting anything out of me. Like, all I'm just gonna say is that I have a big project coming up, and you guys are gonna love it. So, yeah. But in terms of like this like drawing in general, I was really happy with it. At first I thought I was just like gonna go with marker and then gouache and then watercolor and da, which is, what I ended up doing in like the first 3. But then I realized that this drawing doesn't really need a lot. It just needs like very little projects, like not very little projects. Very little material is what I meant to say. But yeah, I mean, it was really nice. It was nice. This was nice. This was fun. Okay, like I was really happy with it. Okay, guys, now I'm going in with the hair, and for Sailor Moon's hair, I went with gouache. And like I mentioned, you guys, this spray that I got from Amazon, which is the same brand as my gouache, Himi Miya, it's a game changer, because I don't know about you guys, but when you first get the gouache right out of the pan, like when it's fresh, when it's new, it's beautiful, it's nice to work with. But once it dries, it's not the same. Like, it is not the same. And then having to keep re-wetting it, it's just a pain in the butt. And I have heard that I've heard it on Instagram. I'm not really sure if I heard it on YouTube, but there were some people who were like, oh my gosh, like my gouache has this bacteria and I can't use it anymore. And I heard that one of the main causes of like gouache having bacteria in it is because like people not using clean water on it to wet the paint. For me, to wet the paint, I just use a squeezy bottle with clean water to obviously, prevent the bacteria and to keep the gouache nice and clean. But then I was like, you know what? Once I was done using my gouache and it dries up completely to the point where it just looks like bleh, I'm going to have to keep re-wetting it, and it's going to look like watercolor and not gouache, and I don't want that. So I ended up getting the spray that I mentioned to you guys. I got it on Amazon, and it was like pretty nice. I got it for like $13. It was not that expensive, but yeah, it's a game changer, because after I was done using my gouache, I just used that sprayed it all over my gouache, and it retains the moisture. It like makes the gouache look like when you've just got it, like when you just get it, and that's what I like. And I have seen some videos of like people trying to like reactivate their gouache, like the wet consistency of it, using like the coffee stirrer thing, when you like when you make yourself espresso, like that coffee stirrer thing, I don't know what it's called, but like they use that to like make the gouache look like new again. But I don't have that in my house, so I was like, let's just get the spray. It's no biggie. Plus it's gonna make my gouache look like brand spanking new. So that's what I did, and I'm really happy that I made that decision, because like I prevented myself a problem for later on in the future. And I like to do that, you guys. I like to think ahead instead of just like letting the problems art-wise come to me and be like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? So yeah, that was a game changer for me, and I'm really happy I did that. And then for Sailor Moon's hair, I just used the same round brush from Himi, and this brush, along with 2 other brushes, came with the pack of the gouache that I bought on Amazon. So yeah, it was nice. It's nice. It's nice. Okay. What else? Oh, I used gouache as well for Sailor Moon's red moon on her crown, the moon on her choker, her earrings, Luna's moon, of course, and her nose. So yeah, the gouache was mostly for like the big areas and a couple of small areas too, but yeah. And I also used the gouache for the stars. So yeah, as you guys can see, this painting was mostly watercolor, but it was also with gouache here and there. So yeah. Also, let me know in the comments down below what other video or screen cap study you want to see me do next. Next week, however, we are entering March. So, and if you guys saw my last video, which was my Snow White March bullet journal setup, I've talked about this movie, and I'm so excited for the new Snow White movie. And I am gonna do another Snow White screen cap study to celebrate the movie that's coming out. So I think that video is gonna go up in March, but I just don't know the day yet. maybe going into like the week of the premiere, but you'll see. I'll put it out there. I promise. And also, you guys, I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support. And like I said, you guys, we've just reached 20 subscribers, and I'm so happy. I feel the love, and I give it back to you guys. And yeah, I'm just really happy that you guys, love my content and love my my videos and stuff like that. So I'm really I'm grateful. I really am grateful, and I'm blessed. I'm simply blessed to have 20 awesome subscribers who love my content and who watch my videos on a daily. And I hope that the Sailor Moon video gets just as many views as it did the first one. So yeah, I really hope that happens, because if that would happen, woo, game changer, you guys. It would be a game changer. As far as other updates from me, that's pretty much all I've got. And as you guys can see, I'm still doing the drawing. And I know I've mentioned this in like past videos, you guys, but all of my Screencap study videos, they're in real time. There's no time lapse. There's no like fast forwarding or anything like that. Everything is in real time. And the reason why I do it in real time is because I really want you guys to see like how much time it takes for me to do these kinds of videos. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't do time lapses. But I might end up doing a time lapse on the future project that I've got coming up. And like I said, you guys, so you're not gonna hear a lot about this project yet, but you will in the future. So for now, this is what you get. For the black part on Sailor Moon's eyes, I just used black gouache, and I used the same brush, but I was really being very careful to not get black on the iris, because if I got black on the iris, it would have been a pain in the butt to just like remove the gouache and then like start over on the iris. So yeah, I like coming up with like time-saving solutions to prevent having to work twice. So yeah. And then yeah, that was pretty much like all I did for that part of her eyes. And oh, as you guys can see, I'm finally removing the masking fluid. It looks kind of like a little booger when it pulls up, but as you guys can see, the area where the masking fluid was at was completely protected. It was not painted over. And then I just wet my brush to wet that little blue part that was covered with the masking fluid, and it worked. It was extremely efficient. And then to remove the masking fluid, I just used the slanted edge of my paintbrush to kind of like scrape it off and then just like get it started. So as you guys can see, I scrape it and then I pull it up like so. And then I just put the scrap pieces on the side. Now we're moving on to Luna's nose. That was pretty easy to remove. Luna's little moon. That was also pretty easy to remove as well. But yeah, like when this masking fluid fully dries, it becomes transparent. And one tip, however, when using masking fluid, don't use it on copy paper. Learned that the hard way. Don't ask me how I learned that the hard way, but yeah, don't use it on copy paper. Don't use masking fluid on copy paper. So yeah, just use masking fluid on like this kind of paper, like mixed media or cold press watercolor paper if you have that, which that kind of paper is like hard to come by. And I heard that kind of paper is like pretty expensive too. So if you are on a budget, mixed media paper is like the best way to go. And yeah, I just used the slanted edge of my brush to remove the masking fluid. I just scrape it nice and gently before I pull it up. And yeah, that was pretty much all I did. Just lift it up. I know it looks a little funky when I pull it up because it looks like a little booger, you know what I mean? But yeah, like masking fluid is a lifesaver, especially when you don't want those like little like nooks and crannies to be painted over. Masking fluid is like becomes your best friend, if you know what I mean. So yeah, just like removing the last bits of the masking fluid, and as you guys can see, that area was completely protected. It's nice and white, it's nice and crisp, and there you go. See, completely protected, no watercolor seeped through, and that's what I love about masking fluid. I love it. Just removing the masking fluid on the moon. There we go. And with masking fluid, you guys, I do recommend that you get like the fine line, that brand that I mentioned, just because like the tip of it, like the nozzle, is really nice and fine, and it's really easy to apply. And then, like I said, when you close it, it comes with like the cap comes with a needle, so it prevents it from clogging, and it prevents, you know, you shaking it up and squeezing super hard that like boom, explosion. So yeah, the needle in the cap is like a huge time saver, and it's also a really nice way to you know, prevent that masking fluid explosion. I know there's another masking fluid brand from Winsor and Newton that's pretty popular, and I have seen people use that masking fluid before, but I heard that it doesn't really like protect the area that it's supposed to be protected when it's on, so that's why I didn't get that brand. But shout out to I'm a Wonder for recommending this in one of her videos. She said that getting these kinds of masking fluids is like super efficient because like the cap comes with a needle, and you know, it's just nice and easy, you know. It just makes life so much easier for you. Okay, so now I believe we are moving on to the last bits and pieces of this drawing, and oh, you can see my head there. The little bits and pieces of it, we are moving on. We are coloring in the earrings and the moon. Oh my gosh, I keep popping my head in there. I didn't even notice I popped my head in there. Oh my gosh, first time that ever happens. But yeah, I just used this like goldish, kind of yellowish gouache. It's not metallic, but it looks like it is. So yeah, there was that. And I again apologize for for my head popping into the frame. I apologize for that. And then I just go in with yellow gouache and I color in the stars. And oh my goodness, I keep popping my head in there. Oh my gosh. Okay, my head's no longer in there. Thank God. I just used a really thin brush to color in the stars. And yeah. In terms of the brushes that I use, I did mention that Himi gouache, but the thin paint brush is from Curate Color. And I got that brush at Hobby Lobby. It came with a few other brushes in there as well, but I just used that one. And yeah, that was pretty much all I used. I didn't use a lot of materials in this video, like I said, you guys. But yeah, that was pretty much all I used. And then for Luna's moon, I used that same yellow gouache. For her nose, I used a light pink gouache, just to give it that little pop of color on her nose. And just wetting my brush in there a little bit, and then getting the light pink gouache right there. Yeah, there you go. See, it's like one little stroke. It's fine. All in all, I was really happy with how this painting came out. I was really happy with it. And who knows, maybe this, and like, I'm looking at the result right now, and it looks like professional quality. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think the same thing. And now for the last and final part of the drawing, which is coloring in the skin. And I just used a Copic Chow marker. Whoops, I dropped it. Hold on one second. Ah, man, okay. So I just used a Copic Chow marker in YR02 in light orange. And I just thought that it was the perfect light orange shade for Sailor Moon. And yeah, it was just perfect. And that way I avoided using watercolor or gouache on it. I said to myself, you know what? Let's use Copic for the skin. It's gonna be so much easier, it's more time efficient, and let's just go with that. With alcohol markers, however, the one negative thing that like you want to avoid is like the patchiness. Like using alcohol marker, you gotta work fast because alcohol marker, it dries pretty quickly on the paper. And so in order to have a uniform look to it, you have to like kind of like work fast. And while one layer is wet, you kind of like have to like work with that layer to prevent patchiness. But all in all, I think it came out pretty good. It looked really, really good. So yeah, I was really happy with it. I was really pleased with it, and yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much all I used for this drawing. Just Copics, gouache, and watercolor. Copic, gouache, watercolor. Yeah, 3 materials. Sorry, I had to count how many materials I used. Cause you know, a lot of the times you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna use this, I'm gonna use that, and then you end up just using a couple of materials in there, and you don't end up using all the materials that you pulled out in the first place. So, yeah. For the white part for her eyes, I just colored around it, and yeah, that's one thing in manga art, like the eyes and getting the eyes like pitch perfect. I feel like is super important for anime. I don't usually dabble in manga a lot, but when I do, you know, it's nice. Because like I said, you guys, I don't normally dabble in like drawing manga. That's not normally my style, but I know that some of my viewers, you know, love anime, so that's why I wanted to do something that was pretty pop culture and kind of like 21st century kind of style. So yeah, and also it's a little throwback to all the 90s kids out there. So as always, you guys, thank you guys so much for enjoying the screen cap study, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Here is the final result of the Sailor Moon screen cap video that I've done for you guys. And obviously, as you guys can see, we are using a new sketchbook, and this is a sketchbook by Faber-Castell, and I absolutely love it. I mean, look at this. Look at the result of this. This looks awesome, like pro quality. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and found some entertainment out of it. And for all us Sailor Moon fans, I hope you guys enjoyed it and you give this video a lot of love like you did on the first video. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be nice in the comment section and ding the notification bell so you don't miss on more fun videos from me. And until next time, bye everybody!